Hello and welcome. This is Alchemistexe, and this is the banner overview for the week of January 26th. Luckily, it is the last week of January because it's not been a great month for this game. Just aside from a handful of mementos that came out, just dead week after dead week. Hopefully, February is a more promising month. I very, very much look forward to the monthly update for February because I hope they've got something to help make up for January. I also hope my luck is better, but that's not really on Gumi. So before jumping into the banners, I want to talk about global just in general, because everything in global is limited. So as far as what units to go for, what mementos to go for, it's more gem intensive than the Holy Guard would have been last week. A lot of times I find myself comparing global to Genesis because they both have kind of very high degrees of scarcity, and now because of Alchemistexe and Dark Roxanne, there are units of comparable rarity. Just Genesis has a lot more of them, whereas most of the characters in Genesis are more comparable to the units whose shards you can find in the Louis shop. But overall, I think that aside from Siegfried, who is just absolutely terrible as a unit because of really, really low stats, which is why I'm kind of comparing him to Retzius in the video of this portion. Xion, who is not as bad as Siegfried, but is kind of outclassed in both damage and in terms of support capacity. So, like, I think you could justify using Xion in very specific circumstances, but Xion is not a unit I would chase. Everyone else, I think you can make a case for. It really just depends on where you are unit-wise, as far as damage types, element, other specialties. You know, Asuka is a really, really good unit to have. Minerva is a really good unit to have. Zhang is a really good unit to have, particularly if you like using Soul and you're not running Soul in like Templar-specific teams. Li Wang is really, really good at soloing stages, as is Red 6. One with HP restoring on crit, the other with Guts ability. Eliza's also a very good debuffer, another good missile unit, again with good synergy with Soul. The Goeta units in general, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, overall, for the most part, it's a pretty good pool of units. It's just you have to get them, and there aren't always great options for that, and then you also have to get their mementos. Luckily, there's some good banners to help deal with that. So speaking of, let's go ahead and jump into the banners. And here we are at the banners. I did not get to say that last week. I kind of missed it. So most of the paid banners I don't even think are worth talking about. The one at the top is the style that I like, but because like Siegfried is on it, I just can't recommend it. Like if you're somebody that you do like just the basic pact every month, and so you get like 300 paid gems per month, and so you can do like a paid banner every 5 months. You do this banner and you get Siegfried. I can't do that. Can't recommend that. So it's just that brings the value of it way down. So 5-step unlimited for Dark Roxanne and Alchemistexe. So if you really want to get them, it's expensive, like 65k if you have terrible luck. I think that Dark Roxanne hits really hard. Wind Missile is a good combination to be good synergy with a lot of other units. But I think you could get by with other units like Tina, Seda, etc. if you absolutely had to. So she's the kind of unit I'd recommend going for if you just really like her design overall. You like the character Roxanne, and you want a wind missile unit that hits really hard. Now, Alchemistexe, on the other hand, I will say if fighting like raid bosses, port raids, that kind of thing, if that's your favorite kind of content, then I would say I would highly recommend getting Alchemistexe, because just for any big damage dealer, she can increase the multiplier of like P-attack, M-attack buffs. For a unit like Dark Nyx, that can help out quite a bit. And then she can heal and veil on top of that. So overall, good times. 3-step unlimiteds. I think that this style of banner kind of sucks, but if you stack discount tickets and you can utilize the soul shard selectors, like going from 0 to 150 shards is expensive. With no discount tickets, that's going to be 45,000 gems. I don't necessarily think that's worthwhile, but depending on where you are, if you were, say, you had 100 shards of, say, like red 6, right? You really want to get her. That's like a unit that's high on your priority list. You got 100 shards of her. You only 50 away. You got a few discount tickets. I think at that point you could justify just going all the way to having enough to transmute her. And if you're really lucky, you'll pull her before that. And as an added bonus, you'll get some coins along the way that you could then potentially get more shards of her. And speaking of coins, there is this banner. So the value of this is entirely dependent on where you are with the original global units, which, I mean, obviously not Siegfried, because I would just say don't bother. But with the others, especially Asuka, Zhang Yi, Minerva, if you're working on raising them, then this has noticeably higher value, because you could do that and get coins to get shards of some of the other more rare units. Like, I was tempted to do 2 steps of this and then buy Li Wang shards, because I've been using him a lot more lately. Ultimately, I decided not to, just because I've got all the shards of the 6 of them. And I've had a lot of bad luck lately, so I would hate to see like pulls that have multiple features on them and then not benefiting from it. Like, that seems like the kind of thing that would happen with how my luck has been recently. So I said no to that, and I did something else. So, mementos. There are 2 9 steps and 1 7 steps. A lot of good mementos available here. All 3 of them have selectors, so if there's one in particular you really want to get, you can do that, as long as you're willing to go all the way to the end. The nice thing about the 7-step one is that it comes with multiple reliefs. So if you say Asuka in particular, who really wants her memento and she wants it max limit broken, you could knock that out in one fell swoop for a relatively lower amount of gems. So that, and the fact that all 5 stars are, all 5 stars are going to be featured, that makes this 7-step really, really good. However, it's older mementos, so if you needed somebody like Li Wang's or like Dark Roxanne's, Alchemistexe, you're going to have to get it from one of the 9 steps, and you don't get to benefit from as many perks, but at least you can pinpoint the one that you want or need, and you can get it. So definitely a good way of burning discount tickets if you happen to have that need. So yeah, that is about it for the banners. I will showcase what I did do. I did 2 steps of the 7-step, just because there's a few mementos on there that I wouldn't mind getting for the first time, and then a few others that I wouldn't mind getting max limit broken. So let's jump into that. Okay, so 2 steps of this 7-step memento, just burning my discount tickets. I chose this one because I've been having real bad luck problems for a while now, and I figured worst case scenario, I'll get one featured that I don't want. It'll be 100 vision coins if it's Asuka's memento, and it'll be another tick on a memento I'm not going to use if it's Siegfried's. Other than that, I'll be able to use it. So even though my luck's been pretty bad, I figured that at least if I've got more than 50% odds, I'll go for it, even though, man, it's been pretty rough. Nimmel's second memento, it was like 6 out of 9, didn't have 5 stars, and I kept pulling Quence's second memento over and over again, which I already had max limit broken. So that was rough. The character selector banner, that was rough. I mean, you guys saw that one. So it's been really hard for me to pull any non-guaranteed things. Like, I've been, for this month, well below 6% and 10% respectively. So that's just something to be aware of. Sometimes RNG is just gonna hate you, and is something you just gotta live with. What I don't want you guys to fall into is to spend gems, and definitely not money, that you weren't otherwise already planning to spend, to tell yourself, hey, next time, this was bad, but it can't stay bad. No, it can. It has for me. It's been a month and counting of just pure bad RNG. So just really think about the costs and the benefits, because a good enough guarantee can make the worst possible luck okay, because you end up still getting something that you want. And that's just really something that I want to sink in and stay in. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. So if you are summoning, please have better luck than me, and I will see you all next time.